We got some news to get into this week, boys. A big week for WoW. This is the week that Season 2 officially really kicks off. We got the Mythic Plus dungeons finally going live. We got Raid going live and a few other things. Bountiful Delves. And class changes. The first round of class changes are hitting before the season even goes live. So let's just get into it here. Here we go. Again, as I said before, Raid opens up this week. All difficulties are going live. The first swing of LFR. Mythic Plus hitting the servers, and of course Bountiful Delves for all you solo Andes out there. Also, the world difficulty for your world boss will also be upping its intensity this week. So if you did the world version, you'll have the other versions finally available this week. So get in there, get some world boss loot, get yourself ready for more raiding and everything else that's coming. A few other things have happened over the weekend. Hotfixes galore to try to fix some issues that are going on with patch 12.1. Let's go through some of those real quick. For achievements, reaching Renown 20 with Zildjiar's Forces now correctly grants you Zildjiar's Force Champion. Okay, there you go, if you were worried about that one. Family Battle, Battler of the Outland, and all associated types Battler of the Outland achievements now require Blood Knight and Atari. Was incorrectly Garoma Asan. I have no idea what that is, but if you're chasing it, I guess it's fixed now. For classes, we got a few fixes here. Devastation Evoker, Shattering Star now correctly benefits from Mastery of Giant Killer. For arms, for Fury Warriors and Arms Warriors, Slayer fixed a bug that was causing Executioner to have a double of the intended effect. Oh man, so that was probably actually giving you guys a nice little bonus there. For Warlocks, fixed an issue where Warlock pets would continually learn Soul Leech. That's ridiculous. And Demonology Soul Harvester fixed an issue where Shadow Bolt and Hand of Gul'dan would be disabled in Cooldown Manager. For Delves, they fixed a couple issues here with things not triggering right, damage not being dealt correctly, so they fixed an issue where Gorgion's Gaze would not trigger, fixed an issue where Ulatek's Gift would not deal damage, and fixed an issue where Ulatek's Gift would not apply more stacks while poisoned. So there you go. These are really Illyria abilities. Not Illyria, sorry, Valeera. And there's so many different areas in these elf names, I don't even know anymore. But anyways, those are fixed now, so you can go around and do your delves more efficiently. Dungeons and Rage. In raids, Archmage Timer again permits players to queue for Raid Finder Wings for the Tomb of Sargeras. Ruby Life Pools Thunderhead fixed an issue where the electrical discharge would sometimes fail to hit players, and Void Scar Arena addressed an issue where Brutox Smashing Charge can charge through doors. Oh shit, okay, well that's fixed now. For items, I'm not going to read all these, this is ridiculous, but there are evidently a ton of trinket changes, increases, reductions, buffs, nerfs. I mean, you guys can look at this list and read it. Yes, children, you can read yourselves too. I can barely fucking read, and you guys want me to read all this shit. So anyways, these are all the trinkets. Obviously, I'll link this in the chat and down below as well if you're watching this on YouTube. So Gaze is ass. Yeah, well, Gaze had to get nerfed. Gaze of the Allseer had to get nerfed, otherwise people would have carried it through this entire season. So there you go. Yeah, you read it. Right. For layers, they resolved an issue where Bubblefin shore runners do not spawn when reaching the alluring bubble. PvP, a bunch of fixes to this stuff. Perfections also got some fixes here. For quests, we have a couple bugs that were happening with quests. Obviously, that's always a thing for patch day. So a couple bug fixes for quests there. For trading post, the trading post activity, complete a call for aid storyline should now require only quests within that storyline. So there you go. Those are the hot fixes. Nothing major. I don't know if people are still having login issues. I was expecting something with the login issue fix, but haven't seen it yet. So there you go. These are the fixes for now. We'll see what else happens. Going forward, people were upset about some people getting 3 sparks this week, some people getting 2. If you didn't know, there was a quest that came out with Midnight. Some people completed it when Midnight came out. Most people did. The people who did it were able to get 3 sparks this week because the quest is still sitting there, giving you a Season 2 spark instead of a Season 1 now. Well, people bitched and moaned enough about it that Blizzard reacted. That's right. Now everybody can get 4 sparks next week. So if you got 2 this week, you'll be fine. You'll be able to get 2 next week. If you got 3 this week, you'll be able to get 1 more next week. So there you go. Everyone's going to be even now, which means two-handed weapons will officially be craftable. after reset. So that's great for anybody who wants to go ahead and get probably one of their biz items early on. A two-handed weapon starting the season off will be pretty OP, honestly. Lady Liadrin's quest is now available once again on NA servers. For those of you who didn't know, Lady Liadrin had a quest that was supposed to be available to both NA and EU, obviously. It's supposed to be available everywhere. It was only for EU for a while, and then they took it off of EU as well. So there you go. This thing's now back. It will award some other things. As of tonight, NA servers once again have Lady Liadrin's quest, but there's only one option, the Vaults of Atalutek. Players now have an additional option for 2 weekly Sparks of Tides, as I mentioned before, for completing and getting the award. So there you go. Yeah, it's back. If you want to do the Illyria quest, that thing's now available. Unlocking single mark question mark difficulty might be something you guys want to do before servers go down this week. Don't forget, double question mark difficulty kills will be Hall of Fame kills all of this week. So after reset, if you kill this guy before on double question mark difficulty, single player, before the next reset, you will be part of the Hall of Fame. So to get a head start on that, you might want to unlock your ability to even fight him at double question mark difficulty, which means you want to grind out to tier 11 delves this week. And by that, I mean before reset on Tuesday or Wednesday if you're in the EU. So getting up to tier 11, completing a tier 11 will unlock single question mark and by and large unlock double question mark once the servers go down and come back up. So if you actually want to compete for Hall of Fame for the double question mark kill, you're going to want to get that shit done before servers go down. Also, what you might want to do is level up your Valeera. My Valeera is fucking sandbagging. I think she's like level 30 right now or something. But I don't need her. I kill double question mark bosses all day without her. But if you really want to give yourself a good shot at it, you want to get her up to that level cap of 80 right now. Right now, players are finding the Grudge Pit Delve to be the best one to do. Or I should say Ring of Glory. Grudge Pit Delve was the one people were previously grinded out. Now Ring of Glory is the one, but you want to use Dun-Dun's Favor as your curio. This thing allows you to run over mislaid spirits, which give experience to Valeera. Usually you have to click them and cast them to actually do it, but with this curio, you can just run over them, and it automatically uses them, so that way Valeera gets XP from them. So doing that is the best thing right now. Running Ring of Glory, it's a mountable delve. It's the quickest one to get done because you can mount, and then running over all of these mislaid spirits to give her as much XP as possible, grinding those out over and over and over, leveling up Valeera. It's not a pretty thing, it's not a sexy thing, but it is the thing to do right now if you want to grind a Valeera up to level 80. Grind Valeera, by the way, could have multiple meanings, and we all want to do the other one, of course, but we'll move on from that. Saptor Salve toy, that's right. The Saptor toy, which actually transforms you into a glorious plant-infused raptor, I guess you can call it, is now available once again. That's right, it drops off of the Blinding Veil dungeon in Mythic difficulty, so and soon to be Mythic Plus difficulty. So you'll be able to get this thing. Again, it drops off of Zyket. It's a rare drop. You might get it, you might not, but just kind of a PSA out there for people who actually want to get this thing and be a raptor boy. It's something you'll be able to get from that dungeon once again. Guaranteed champions loot. I mean, people want to get geared right now because the raid's opening up and everything else. There's two sources right now of guaranteed champions loot, one of which is combining 2 Venom Cursed fragments. You can get those from the Vault of Atalutek, a Toxic Tour campaign quest, and one from the Purging the Vaults weekly quest, also defeating the ancient foe in the Vaults of Atalutek. Getting these and combining them will give you a piece of champion level gear, which right now it starts at level 292, so that's pretty good item level for anybody who's still looking for them. Another piece of champion gear can be gotten from, what's it called? Zuljara's Forces Renown Track. That's the new Renown Track. Getting it up to rank Renown 9 will give you a piece of Champions gear, much like any of those other ones. If you remember when the expansion first opened up, getting Champions gear through the Renown Track is something you could do. So people who want another piece of Champions gear, Renown 9 from Zuljara's Forces is the way to get it. You can do a bunch of one-time weekly reputation sources, weekly ones, daily ones. There's plenty of ways to grind this out if you want to get it and get up to rank 9 and get that second piece of Champions gear to get ready for the season to kick off. Venom's Abyss is the raid, and it's opening up, guys. Venomous Abyss, and there are a bunch of BOEs. These are the ones you'll be able to buy off of the auction house for anybody who's picking these up from raid. We've data mined these, so now you've got a cloth shoulders, cloth feet, leather helm, leather waist, mail helm, mail feet, plate shoulders, plate waist, and a necklace. These are all BOEs. You'll be able to get them from, the auction house, as I said before, or hey, maybe you get lucky and it actually drops for you. But these are the lists right here. Kind of plan ahead, I guess. If you're lacking on one of these slots, you might be able to find these items on the auction house as the week progresses here after the raid opens up. And then finally, Season 2 tuning is coming. That's right, with this weekly reset, we're getting our first round of class changes once again at the start of 12.1. These are the first round of class changes since 12.1 went live, and I'm sad, guys. I'm sad. Blood DK is getting a nerf. I mean, I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. I was having so much fun, and Blizz don't like that shit. So we're getting a nerf, evidently Sandland specifically. Visceral Strength now grants 6% strength instead of 10. Transfusion increases Dancing Rune Weapon damage by 5%, was 10. And there you go, little tooltip update as well. For Frost as well, all ability damage increased by 9%. So Frost DK is actually getting a buff, so that's nice, as well as some changes to their 2-set. For Demon Hunter, you're seeing some changes here. All ability damage increased by 14%. For Devour Demon Hunter. Damn, that's a big boost. Reap, Call, and Eradicate damage reduced by 12%. Eradicate area of effect damage increased to 90% of base damage, was 85%. And then some changes here to their tier set bonuses as well. There's some nerfs there for 3 abilities, but damn, 14% increase overall. I think it's a nice buff for Devour Demon Hunter. For Restoration Druids, all healing increased by 4% and all damage increased by 20%. So nice buffs there for Resto coming. For Bestiality Hunter, we see a tier set change here. They say that the Venomous Abyss tier set bonus isn't quite as strong as they would like it, so they're giving it a nice little buff for the 4-set bonus. The 4-set bonus now causes Cobra Shot to benefit from Beast Cleave at 30% effectiveness per stack, was 20%, or to strike your target for an additional 20% damage, was 15%. So a nice boost there for boast and boost. Boast about your boost. Your 4-set, there you go, for Hunters. For Mages, we're seeing changes. All ability damage increased by 3% for Arcane Mages, a nice boost for there. Your Venomous 2-set looks like it's getting a bonus damage reduction. Arcane Missiles damage bonus reduced to 5%, was 20, so that's a nerf there. And Culminative Power damage bonus for your 4-set reduced to 3%, was 5. So some reductions there, but an overall increase of your damage by 3% for Arcane Mages. For Mistweaver Monk, all healing increased by 8%, and their 4-set has a nice little increase there, so some nice buffs there for Mistweaver. For Disciplined Priest, all damage reduced by 30%, and Entropic Rift damage increased by 20%. So damn, were these guys doing what the hell? A 30% damage to their reduction of their damage? That's a lot. Entropic Rift damage has been increased though by 20%, and Atonement now transfers 40% of damage into healing, was 32%. So 46 now, 32 before, so that's a buff for them. They do 25k DP. I don't know were they pumping or something? Why is Discipline getting the hammer like that? A 30% reduction. That's a lot. Okay, moving on. Holy Priest here. Enlighten now regenerates 25% faster for the mana faster than it was. It was 10% before. Now it's a 25% buff to your mana regeneration. For Oracle, they have Words of the Wise now increases a healing of your Holy Ward, Serenity, and Holy Ward. Sanctify by 40%, was 10%. So that's a buff there to that ability. And Prompt Prognosis healing increased by 55%, and Preventative Measure now increases Prayer of Mending healing by 40%, was 15. So these seems like some buffs here for Oracle, and Holy overall getting some buffs. For Rogue, Assassination, all damage increased by 4%. Subtitty, all damage increased by 6%. So nice buffs there, and a nice little buff to their actually reduction to their 4% there for Subtitties. But overall, looks like buffs for Rogues, Assassination, and Subtitty. Shaman, all damage increased by 5%. Very nice. Warlock getting some changes to their tier set here. Looks like a buff to their tier set bonus. So there you go for their 2-set for Demonology. And then for Warrior, we have Fury Warrior, all damage increased by 6%. Very nice. and some changes to their tier set bonus here. You can read that if you'd like. But overall, looks like a buff for Fury Warriors. We have a bunch of PvP shit here. If people want to read this, get into it. Obviously, I'll link this in the chat and down below. You guys can check this out as well. That's really it for the first round. Another round of class changes are scheduled to also hit the next reset, so we'll keep you up to date on that one. But for today, that is all in terms of news.